Welcome to another very exciting episode with Listen to the Heartbeat. And I'm Aaron G. And we have Joanne calling in from Liverpool. Joanne is going to discuss three topics with us. One, her growth in therapy, individual and group therapy. Then she's going to reflect on the year of 2024. And then she's going to close with some gratitude and what would I say? Some shock and gratitude because she may share with us, but she shared with me individually something wonderful that happened for her. Joanne, the floor is yours.
Hey Aaron, well, first and foremost, thank you so much for inviting me. I think we've been friends now for comrades for at least, well, 4 full years to me, going into 5 years this new year coming, God willing. And I'd like before the start to really thank uh, God, the Most High, for my life today. And I want to do this interview in honour of the people who not only have helped me, but also I must never forget the human being today that may lose their lives with the condition that I had. And there's so much to do and so many people to help. But one thing is becoming really clear that I need to stay as well as possible to do that. Um, I'm really, really reflecting on 2024, which has brought lots of new people my way, actually. Um, I also want to dedicate this to the fellowship of men and women that were fundamental, I have no doubt, in saving my life. And this is definitely a progressive journey the longer you stay, and keep staying. I'm just going to say that. Life this year has been, well, great. It's had its ups and downs within me emotionally. I am in my second half of gaining an education at 48 years of age. And I do reflect now that everything that I thought was real and that I couldn't do was a lie. All of it was a lie. And I convinced myself of the lies. And I guess I was in a really bad place many years ago, okay, but not that long ago where I need to forget about it. I have a trouble with my memory, but I must never forget that where I've come from, literally. I'm reflecting on life this year as, hey, I never want to be a policewoman in our movement. I've noticed some people that have become not too good. I've seen a person that I work with close by being bullied and harassed. I was reminded of my personal powerlessness. However, looking at the other side of the coin of that, I can always be there and support other people. Since March, really, it's been a lot of work. February, March. I've had no breaks in the summer, and I've had lots of stuff to take care of that I avoided in the past. I have an elderly father who is beginning to have slight memory problems. So I have had to support family, take over some legal things for Dad, help out in general. I've also been doing my study course. I also have a daily program to live by. And I also passed a 10-week introduction where I could only miss 1 or 2 sessions maximum to have what is known as MBT therapy. And it's about mentalizing basically the other person's point of view. You see, I didn't know how I was running on me, how I can now spot what I call as Mimi syndrome, where you don't listen to other people, you're incapable of having a two-way conversation, and you basically project or deflect yourself. I also, it's been prevalent, some of my mental health. Not every day has been fabulous, and even in my worst moments, they have been victories anyway. Because I recognize with my body now, I read it and scan it, and I take time for me, because this fellowship of men and women allowed me to learn to love myself. And when I say love myself, I mean really love myself. Taking care of me and helping taking care of others, if possible. And that begins for me with connection. And I found that very impossible. I've had an amazing year. In May, I went to an amazing conference of the Berlin group Emotional Sobriety. They're all over YouTube. And what I found fascinating was the two men, and especially the people who helped put that meeting together. Because we had one guy who'd been a monk for several years trying to find God. And he works alongside with his sponsee, a doctor also in recovery. Now, when I joined this brigade, I thought it was to just stay sober. What I didn't know is that it is the beginning, and every day is the beginning of a wonderful journey, even if it seemingly has been a bad day. Right? I'm not dying today, so every day is a blessing. But it wasn't always like that. Anyway, I am not only getting armoured with facts on this journey of 2024, I have connected to some amazing people. And now I'm talking globally. What a gift for a person like me. What an absolute gift. What an honour to be able to continue carrying a message and even be able to pass it on to others that keep carrying that message. What an absolute, woo! Yeah, I'm getting choked. So anyway, some days have been where I can actually pay bills as well as help paint around a home. I mean, all these things that appear to be very, very normal to normal people, it wasn't like that for me. I come from towards the end, daily drug using, not being able to think straight at all, using substances against my will, literally, because I didn't want it. And then I had no choice. And then coming to an understanding of peace, neutrality, And I think in psychology terms, it's called the window of tolerance. We call it a position of neutrality. I've learned about hyper arousal and hypo arousal, which basically is from trauma. It is emotional instability. It can also be a personality disorder. That can have an effect on addiction in general, in all those stepper places.
So let me ask you a
So,
question. Let me ask you a question before
yeah.
you continue. So you hit on several topics. You talked about first you reflected on the year 2024. It was not as gloomy as one would think, but it was full of experiences. You talked about being able to be there for Dad at a time when he forgetting a few things. Dad probably in the late 70s or 80s, right? But more importantly, you spoke about a condition that you learned about. And that condition, you gave us the acronyms for that condition. What was the acronyms and the name of the acronyms for that condition so that you can learn to be a proactive listener? What was the names of that condition? And
The names of the conditions that I'm getting treated for after all my wonderful experiences um, is called, I have possibly a emotional dysregulated illness called borderline personality disorder. I also may have bipolar affective disorder, and I'm getting MBT treatment therapy, which is based on mentalizing, meaning I'm actually learning skills, right? To communicate and to actively listen and actively pause and actively be prompted in singular therapy sessions and group sessions to actually think of other alternatives, a bit like what the fellowship had done for me. Actually, I think it's all interlinked, all of it. My 12-step process and program was wonderful. And you only get better the longer you stay, even if you have mishaps along the way.
okay.
All of it prepared me, my spiritual based program, for my medical based treatment. And in fact, I actually even think that this holds the key to these conditions, because they're actually described, the medical conditions are described in our big book as the types, the personality disorders, the Jekyll and Hydes, the man who appears to be normal in every aspect, the psychopath,
So
the
thank you.
sociopath. Yeah.
So thank you for. I just wanted to go back and
Yeah.
allow you to break it down a little more because a lot of people. I was sharing with a young man last night while I just asked him a question, and the question was, "Young man, do you remember 16 years ago you said this to one of your parents?" And 16 years have passed. Don't you want something different? And of course, he responded with a passive aggressive behavior. He responded with deflection. He responded with some other things. And I said to myself, these are signs of this, this, and this. And so I left. I didn't ask him no more questions. I did make two statements though. Do you want to leave tonight or do you want to leave in the morning? Because if you're unwilling or you're not through having the experiences you having here with me, we on our peace. We vibrating on high level. We ascending. And if you don't want to ascend, I accept you don't want to ascend. Again, are you leaving tonight or tomorrow? And I noticed the passive aggressive behaviors, the denial, and all that went away. And thank you for being willing to be one of those. I I have file cabinets, literally, from 1989 to the present. File cabinets of all kind of diagnoses, right? And some of them they say is chronic. So I see myself as a therapist because I once was exposed to this. I'm gonna call it an outfit. This outfit had 12 principles, really more, 36 and more to live by. And one of the statements in that outfit was quite interesting. It said, diagnose yourself. And I thought that was quite interesting because I can go sit down with a bunch of paid individuals and they have this book, uh, DSM 1 through to when they finish, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And all it does, it says that if you have these criteria, you meet this diagnosis. However, I began studying the book and the people who wrote the book only to find out that all those diagnoses they can't even prove. But they'll label us for the purpose of prescribing some dope. Now,
Hey,
what I did not know, if you allow me, I'm in America, Joey, and all the codes in the well, I could just say in America or Britain, because I haven't looked at the medical records of other people. You know, one day I looked at a code. It said NHC code, and then I looked up NHC, and that happens to be the Medical Institute of England. So wherever you at in the world getting a diagnosis, right? A reality is the Queen's team is diagnosing you, saying, yeah, you can sell it, you can give them this dope based on this code. Something else I learned about the Queen. All around the world, right? If you're in America and you want to be a lawyer, you have to pass the bar.
the bar.
If you're in over there to be a barrister or whatever you guys call lawyers, they got to pass the bar. Wherever you at in the world, you got to pass the bar. Now, do you know what the bar actually means?
No.
The British Association Registry.
Ah,
So wherever you at being a lawyer, even in America, a lot of those fees goes to the Queen. It goes to that royal family. When you become a lawyer, you work for the Kingdom of the UK. I'm like, wow. And so I'm sharing this because when it comes to some of our diagnoses, a lot of them is based on lies. How do I get into a condition based on a lie? How do I stay
hey,
in it?
listen.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I have a habit of doing that. I'm trying to correct it. just before I forget, listen, I'm going to tell you a secret. I don't treat any of my conditions with any drugs, pharmaceuticals, or illegal drugs anymore. I treat my so-called conditions, okay, with them beautiful principles you talked about. Not all at once, okay, but yeah, that's how I treat myself, and I have to tread awarenessly, primordial awareness that begins with me. I'm starting to get to know another word now, medical one. A lot of people don't like it, some do. Triggers. I'm starting to get to know me, right? I'm starting to be aware, once I know me, of who and what's around me, right? And then, like you've just talked about, and it's really funny, you know, we've now got on our team a barrister who is also a crazy drunk who likes to get arrested. Okay. A lovely person, right? And it's so interesting. I want to go back a bit, that you were talking about somebody. Do you want to go tonight or do you want to go tomorrow? I'd say never give up on talking to that person. What worked with me was absolute authenticity, and humbleness is the hook I use to connect with people. Not so much knowledge of anything that I've learned so far. And I guess it's a big business when you get told, hey, you've got a bit of cholesterol, so let's try you on this tablet, because we actually get money for pushing statins. We get a reward. So doctors are being rewarded as well. I actually tried a different one. However, there are a few doctors left that said, that's preposterous for your age. Let's just do a low-fat diet. As simple as that. A low-fat diet. Some spiritual principles. Some discipline, right? Because I didn't have any. Has been a very, very much needed key to unlocking my inner strength and my own power, as well as a quick access to gratitude. But I love the way you've described actually what's going on. And the new DSM manual is out shortly, if it isn't already. And there's a lot of headquarters. It's all connected all over the world. The government are making a heck of a lot of money, right? But there's people above that government who are making most of the money. They've even got a friend of mine using the DSM, like you said, to catch criminals in cybercrime. And he goes off, you know, and he works in different offices and he actually studies. But I basically truly believe, and it was some works by a couple of theorists, because psychology hasn't been around for a long time, around about 150 years. And most of them agree that badness is not born. Some of these conditions you're not even born with. You develop them from the basic human condition of your caretakers, and you can develop them through, well, obviously, abuse or neglect. And you mimic Bandura theory, you mimic what you learn from your carers at a young age. You also can actually develop different personalities and mental health disorders through lack of connection, basically, with healthy people. That's it. It doesn't matter what you went through or what happened. It's there is something happening to the human condition and on our planet with all these systems, and they're all linked. Okay, we have to have a governance now because the human condition can be so crazy with free will that we need a policing system. We need them, you know. Otherwise, what are we going to do? Martial law everywhere? Everyone carry a gun? I mean, can you imagine? I don't know. There was a
So I'm
movie
a,
made of it.
I'm, a,
Purge. Shall we all
I'm a,
purge?
I'm gonna say thank you, right? And as we close, you just reminded me of something. So I was talking to an older gentleman the other day, and he said, "Aaron, I've been thinking lately. Have you ever read the Benson Report?" And I was like, "Yeah." So the Benson Report, it came out in 2016, and the Hillary Clinton Foundation had, you know, asked these people to do a study on how to win the 2016 election. And one of their findings was we can fake an alien invasion. And the older gentleman said, I was thinking lately, Aaron, and he just started busting up laughing. He got to be about 90, in his 90s, right? He just started chuckling. He just was cracking up. And I said, sir, what's making you laugh so much? Finish the statement. He said, well, I had been sitting on my porch and I'm reflecting on that report. He said, but what if when they just start to produce a fake alien invasion, he said, wouldn't it be something when if the real aliens show up? And it gave me a reflection on how our energies. There's a lot of people on the planet whose energy don't fit in certain categories, right? Just say if the category is a box, it don't fit, right? And in closing, I want to thank you for helping me with this Riverside platform. Eventually, we'll get it to where on both ends we both have the right camera, we have the right computers, or whatever, so that our video version will be clear. I'm just going to be using audio, but I have the ability in here to actually go live on multiple platforms. And I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for your friendship. I want to thank you for your kindness. More so, I want to thank you for, I really admire how you can call me and be talking about things you will not hear in college. Talk about things you will not hear in the boardroom. Talk about things you wouldn't normally hear. And I'm honored to be a receiver of that, right? So at this moment, I want to thank you for coming to listen to the heartbeat. I want to thank you for sharing, having the courage to share with us some of the conditions that you find yourself growing through, not giving up. It's an honor to be on the listening ear of that. This is Aaron G. with Listen to the Heartbeat. And we had Joanne calling in from Liverpool, the United Kingdom, on 12/28, 2024, which is actually my mother's birthday. May she rest in peace. So I stopped it. It's done. Now we can
Yeah.
continue having conversations. It will